Hello and welcome. This is Wise Woman Television with Errity Green, and today I am bringing you a pick a card reading on how you are changing your family history / future. So you're a paradigm bringer, you are a pattern breaker. How are you changing your family's future? So that is the reading for today. I first encourage you to like and subscribe. Liking ensures other people see this video, and subscribing ensures your own commitment to yourself. So I will go ahead and put a picture of the piles up, piles 1, 2, and 3. That way you can intuitively choose which one is for you. And we will begin. So pile 1. So the first thing that I want to talk about is like the original trauma. So what was that, and how are you then shifting that, or the original pattern, whatever that is. So there is this long line in your family of not believing in yourself, of self-abandonment, walking away from your own dreams, perhaps even self-sacrifice. I'm feeling like, especially, so some of the energy that's coming through is that a lot of the women in your family tended to shelve their own dreams or shelve their own plans for themselves in order to either service their family as young children or service their family when they grew up and had their own family. But there feels like there's been some self-abandonment here, abandonment of their own dreams, not believing in themselves, and then not following through on their higher, truer path. So that's the pattern that you're here to break. And how that happens, or what you end up doing, you break the pattern by following through. You break the pattern by partnering with yourself, by believing in yourself, by taking the necessary steps to do whatever it is that you came here for. So there's something here about advocating for yourself, standing for your own dreams, desires, and destiny, not falling or swaying to one direction or the other because it's been said or told to you, or sacrificing for other people. Like, this is about trusting you, trusting that you have this vision or this inspiration or this desire for a reason. I do feel some of you don't even know what your desires are because you are so used to self-abandoning, and that you've been doing this for so long in terms of self-denial that you may not even know what you want anymore. And so do the discovery work to determine what that is, because you are here to break that cycle. You're here to break that pattern. That's your gift, and that's what you're here to do. So you end up becoming someone who is fully entrusted to yourself. Like, you know it, you own it, you trust yourself, and you live and be and do what you came here for. So in the past, I would imagine you've probably learned some painful lessons about self-trust. So that's what's coming through here, is your life in the past has served up a lot of spiritual lessons to help you once and for all stand with, for, and by yourself. Not by yourself alone, but just stand up for yourself, advocate for yourself. It could be something as small as you felt it was important to take a left, not a right, or you wanted to go to this restaurant or whatever, or you had a funny feeling about that one thing that you didn't do and then something happened as a result. You've experienced a lot of pain and trials and challenges around learning to trust yourself, around not abandoning yourself, around not denying your own desires. So even for some of you, you might feel, this is only for some, so I'm speaking to all the different things that are coming through here. For some of you, again, you haven't even felt alive or felt fulfilled or felt passionate or good or whatever, even content, because you've denied your own desires, you've denied your own dreams, you've denied all the things that make you you and make this life worthwhile for you. And so, you know, some of the past, what you have experienced, pile 1, is learning to advocate for yourself, to be yourself, and to follow the impulses of whatever it is that comes through for you, your insights, your impulses, your nudges, your intuition, your dreams, your desires, to stand for that means something, that you aren't to self-abandon or self-deny. You're here to stand and act for self, first and foremost. So a lot of your life has been preparing you through the challenges of the opposite, because we tend to learn through contrast as human beings. So you have been learning a deep sense of inner resolve and inner trust in yourself that you may or may not have learned the hard way, but I feel many of you have. And now that I'm sharing this, I even think some of you are like, oh my gosh, that's what I've been learning. Well, shoot, that's too bad that it took so long and I had to watch this reading to find out. But that was the common thread. the common thread was learning to stand for yourself, to act for yourself, to advocate for yourself. Now, in the present part of your life, you are learning, it feels like, and so it's either this video that will spark this or inspire this, but I also feel like for many of you might already be doing it, kind of dipping your toe in the water. But the present is all about getting to know yourself, getting to know your dreams and desires, getting to know all the ways you have abandoned yourself, getting to know all the ways that you have denied yourself, and just really getting honest with yourself about where you have been and where you want to go. And for many of you, where you want to go is not where you are. And so your crux, your medicine, the calling then is to get really clear with all the ways and patterns and even familial patterns that you've witnessed in the other generations prior to you, all the ways that you've abandoned yourself or denied yourself, so that you can begin to honor yourself. And actually, pile one, those are the words right now. Honor yourself. That's it. That's what you came here to do, to shift your family patterning. You are the cycle breaker from abandoning yourself to honoring yourself. That is specifically what you are doing for your family, at least one of the main game-changing things that you're here to do. And you're learning that right now by beginning to align yourself with, like I said, even those small nudges, small inspirations, small insights, just taking those small action steps to really get to know yourself. But I think for a lot of you, the bigger energy that I'm feeling is right now even self-discovery. Taking a look at all those places you've abandoned yourself. Taking a look at all the ways this pattern permeates your family history. I felt a lot of it for you was women, but it could be any number of family members. And I have no doubt you will find many ways in which these individuals have abandoned themselves, and how it has been inherited by you, and how even your life has continued to serve this up on a silver platter. Hey, you're abandoning yourself. Hey, you're abandoning yourself. You're being asked to honor and trust yourself. So the future is really powerful for you, because what comes through for your future is someone who just knows herself. There's an inner resolve that is so fully grounded in your own knowing and anchored in your own being and anchored in just who you are, what you want. And it doesn't feel like fanciful or like whimsical. It feels like very planted, very grounded. It's a deep inner knowing. Like that's what you end up stepping into. The embodiment is a deep inner knowing and a follow through based on that deep inner knowing. And this is what shifts your family cycle or your family patterning. And the medicine that then you bring is, overall, not only in your family, but it's almost like you give permission to other people, whether it be your family or globally, collectively at large, for other people to follow through on their own dreams, their own desires, their own inner nudges. Obviously, the huge medicine here and the great impact that you're going to make is by honoring yourself, crediting yourself. There's something more there too about crediting yourself, like giving yourself due credit for all the things that you've done, all the things you've worked for or earned, like really making space and knowing for that awareness of like how much you've really worked on yourself or how much you've done to get here, honoring yourself, crediting yourself. You end up, like I said, embodying this deep inner knowing. And embodiment is not only the deep inner knowing, but it's acting on that, behaving in alignment with that, with all of your choices. And as a result, you sort of give permission for other people to do the same thing. Now, this could be directly, like that you're giving advice, or you're doing this in a business or something like that, or maybe you do something similar to, what I'm sharing here. But for many of you, it feels very indirect, that through the shifting of your own experience, you give yourself, your family, your loved ones feels obviously most prominent because that's the reading, but even the other people who are around you, you give them permission to live true to themselves, by themselves, to honor themselves, to stand with, for, and by themselves. That is the medicine that you bring and the cycle that you break. So nicely done, Pile One. If this resonates, I encourage you to like and subscribe or comment below. I also want to share, I do personal readings as well as offer coaching programs to support people to bring these readings to life, to support them on their path in all the ways this reading has guided you and more. So thank you, Pile One. I look forward to seeing you next time. Okay, Pile Two. We are talking today about how you are breaking a cycle or a pattern in your family. And the first thing that we cover is sort of like the trauma or the thing that you're breaking. What is the pattern that you are breaking? And it is a lack of belief in oneself. You are breaking the pattern of being small, feeling small, not having belief in oneself, not having belief such that you don't even take the action necessary to sort of live a life that's true for you, or to even kind of surmount the greater dreams and visions that you have for yourself. Pile 1 is similar in some ways in that it was about self-abandonment, but this feels very much a lack of belief in oneself, believing oneself as small, and not truly understanding your potential and the possibilities that are available for you. So I would imagine if you look back in your family, you'll be able to see all the ways in which your family members played small or didn't believe in themselves. And they may have even had big visions or dreams, ones they might not have even shared because they were embarrassed to share it because they never actually did the work to get there, and it's because they didn't have the belief in themselves. But I encourage you to explore this cycle and to see how it has played out in your life and in your family members' lives. So how you end up breaking this cycle is recognizing your worth as you are with nothing else. Like, you come to know your own essential inherent worth just by being you. Like, you become proud of you and excited about yourself and celebrate yourself just as you are, because you are you, and that's it. Like, nothing else is needed. And it even feels like for some pile 2s, it's like you've done all the accomplishments and the ambitions and the successes and all the traditional stuff to try to believe yourself worthy, and like pack on all these layers of worthiness based on the material world so that you could make yourself believe that you're worthy, and prove to your family the same thing. And they've probably all done it too. You might even have some, even doctors and lawyers and things like that in your family are really like traditionally successful people, but it all came from not worthiness, but from unworthiness, because they were actually trying to prove themselves that they were worthy. So take a look at where the cycle is, where it is most prominent for you and your family uniquely, but how you come through, how you change it is by owning yourself as you, and like loving yourself as you are, and owning your worth, like knowing that your birthright is worthiness regardless of anything else, and like you have a right to everything that you desire, or that everything that is available on this planet, just by being you, because you were born, and that's it. Like, that's what you step into. Now, how has your life prepared you for this, or what is the past, some of the past energies? It feels like you've probably experienced a lot of even deeply hurtful experiences or painful experiences around feeling small. Perhaps you've always been made to feel small, or you encountered situations and experiences or challenges that felt like you were less than, or felt like you were inferior, or felt like you were a small person in a big world. Perhaps you continued to encounter experiences that, you know, hurt your feelings, for lack of a better way of saying it, and were hurtful and challenging and made you believe less than of yourself. And ironically, that wasn't the purpose of these experiences. Of course, we often learn through contrast, and what you were meant to take from these experiences, and now you know this when you're getting this reading today, is it's actually supposed to support you in seeing how big and true and powerful you are. And it's meant to teach you that through recognizing that nothing external to you can make you worthy. Nothing external to you can decide your worth or dictate your worth. So you were learning to know your bigness on the inside, no matter how small anyone made you feel on the outside. So it was like recognizing that you are big, and that you are everything, you are all the things within. Like, your worth is limitless, your potential is unlimited on the inside, no matter what the world is telling you on the outside. And you learn that, many of you, through contrast, through really feeling very small. It actually reminds me of the movie Captain America, where he's like kind of a small, puny guy, but he has this big potential inside of him, and he ends up living true to his vision and his potential. And where Captain America is very small and puny, and he has this big vision though, and potential and awareness of how big he can be inside of him, and he follows through on that vision, and then of course he ends up embodying his greater destiny as Captain America. But he experienced so many experiences on the outside of his life that would make him feel less than, and yet he continued to act and behave and make choices based on the bigness and the worth that he found on the inside. So now in the present though, some of your work is doing some self-discovery and starting to get familiar on, recognizing the inner worth, recognizing all that you are, even beginning to recognize a semblance, if you aren't already aware of some of whatever your mission is, whatever you believe your purpose is. Because again, I feel like Captain America came up for a reason. Like, you do have a big calling here. There is something here for you. Most people who experience a sense of small self in their childhood or their past are actually meant to embody big self. They're meant to embody very successful people on this plane. They're meant to, they're kind of like the best-selling book authors. They're the global thought leaders. They are the leaders of nations, right? It's pretty common that the people who believe themselves small in their past, they grow into someone with a really incredible calling and legacy once they mature. And so there is like this Captain America destiny vibe available for you. That might not be the case for everyone, and you might say, poo-poo that, you know, I don't have any interest in a big calling or destiny, and that's fine. But know that your cycle is to shift the patterning of a lack of self-worth and a lack of self-belief and a sense of inferiority into the truth of all that you are, and a knowingness that you are that no matter what happens on the outside in your life. Now, there is some stubbornness here. I feel some energy of like, well, F that, right? Like, all this stuff that's happened to me, and not everyone will feel this way. It doesn't feel like it's very like angry and aggressive. It just feels kind of like neutral, but like a little bit of this, well, forget it then. Like, if I have to sit here and prove myself or prove it to myself or whatever, then just forget it, right? But don't let your pride get in the way here. Like, again, that's sort of like that small self who's getting a little bit feisty, you know, who has something to say about it. That's fine. They can have a say. Like, they dealt with a lot. We get it. The past was a lot of having to prove themselves or believe themselves small, and even dealt with some painful experiences just to come into its own strength and awareness of its power. It's like, well, thanks, but no thanks, right? Like that kind of vibe. And so the present is shifting any energies in the way of feeling big and feeling worthy. So you're like, what's meant to be happening in the present right now in order to bring about this true calling and this medicine that you have for your family is to shift some of these old energies of inferiority, of smallness, of lack of self-belief, lack of self-worth into self-belief, self-worth, knowing your bigness, knowing your potential. There's some healing that is available here for you that's going to look different for each and every one of you, but it looks like a lot of you are already starting to explore this avenue, and that some of you, it will become more and more clear as you go. So now that you know it, now that this reading identified it, your awareness is wide open, and now it will become clear the things that you need to do to continue to shift out of that and step into all that you are, like that Captain America dream destiny. Because what's coming in the future is someone who is not held back. Someone who's not limited by, or you know, even if it's just your perception, you're not limited by, you are not held back by any sense of inferiority and any sense of small self, even dictated by the outside world. It's like, it doesn't matter what they say. So again, that Captain America energy where he goes from the small guy, it's like you develop this resolve or conviction and knowingness within yourself that none of the outside or world approval or whatever of that even matters. You step into someone who becomes truly at cause in your own life, and you become capable. You develop this capacity now to walk your highest potential, to live into your calling, whatever that is uniquely for each of you. Now, we're not talking about calling today necessarily, so we don't get into the nuts and bolts of that. I do have plenty of other videos on life purpose and spiritual destiny and things that you can check out to see what comes up there. But there is something here about a greater legacy and calling, that there is something here about you coming into your own worth that supports the upliftment of humanity. Now, I feel a lot of this is indirect. Like, some of you may very well, again, become leaders of a nation, or best-selling book authors. Like, those are viable paths, again, for pile 2. Not for everybody, but I do feel that for some of you, and that's a traditional path for someone who kind of goes through that cycle breaking. But indirectly, through the awareness and the ownership of your own worth, you actually give permission and sort of free the chains for not only your family, right? This is your medicine for your family, so it's going to free them to past generations, future generations, to truly know their own worth. But it actually frees the chains of even like passed on loved ones and old and ancestors. And there's something here too about really supporting the collective to know their own worth as well, and to discover all that they are. So how powerful, how beautiful is that? An upliftment of humanity where everyone discovers their own inherent worth and their truer legacy and calling as a result of releasing the belief in the small self, or that it is inferior or less than or unworthy. So nice work, pile 2. If this resonated for you, I encourage you to comment below or like and subscribe. And I also want to let you know I offer both personal readings as well as coaching programs to support you on your path and to help bring this healing or this reading to life if it serves. So thank you, and I will see you next time, pile 2. Okay, so pile 3. Pile 3, this is on the cycle that you are breaking in your family. So right away, looking at the trauma or the original wounding or like the pattern that you're breaking, it's not taking action on a dream that you know is yours, not taking action on a desire that you know is yours, kind of sitting back, not necessarily like lazily sitting back, but it could be due to a lack of self-belief. I feel like for most of you, it's going to be different for everyone. It's a collective reading, but for most of you or many of you, there's something here about sort of like that masculine energy, and there is no true difference, you know, a masculine energy and a feminine energy. We can't truly compartmentalize or categorize our experiences. These are concepts to help us understand. However, I want to share about it here because I think it's going to be helpful, and it's actually the crux of some of my coaching work, so something I know a lot about. And there's been a lack of masculine energy in your family, meaning the go-getter energy, the against all odds energy, the take action energy, the build it energy, do what I must do energy, the planning and the structure energy. So a lot of that masculine energy to actually put something into place and bring it to fruition has been lacking in your family, okay? Now, there are many things cycles that our families have, and this is one of them that you will help break, and it's some of the medicine that you bring forth. You'll probably do that for many cycles and many patterns, but this is the one that came through most clear today. And the medicine or the calling that you have then is to actually do the thing. To do the thing, not just to dream the thing, not just to talk about the thing, not just to learn about the thing, not just to think about the thing or analyze the thing or plan the thing, but to do the thing, to bring it to life, to build it, to make it happen, to bring it into form. Pile 3. You shift the cycle of a lack of action or a lack of structure or a lack of building or a lack of planning or whatever has led to a lack of actual like fruitful action. Like it seems like maybe your family has done a lot of things but nothing has come of it, or they've done a lot of daydreaming but nothing has come of it, or they've really wanted to do something but they never followed through, or they never saw it through to the end. So it's that kind of stuff. And again, it's not lazy. It's not this lazy energy of just F it, I don't care. It's just like this inability to truly step into the masculine energy to do the damn thing. Like it's simple as that. And the block is different for everybody, but that's part of the medicine that you're bringing through, is that you actually follow through and you do it. So whatever your dream is, whatever your desire is, whatever your purpose is, it's unique for each and every one of you, but you are going to be the one who puts the pen to paper. You are going to be the one who builds it, who brings it into form, who does what they said they were going to do. You're going to be the one that follows through, and you're going to break that cycle in your family. Now here's the thing. A lot of your family, so pile 3 is a little bit different from the other piles because I'm sensing like you guys either are a soul group or a group of star seeds or missionaries or whatever. You don't have to align with that belief system. Let it land however it lands. Like the words I use, the ideas I use may not align perfectly with your views, but you'll find the way that it works within your own framework and paradigm, if that makes sense. But here's the thing. You actually come from a long line of like game changers. You know, people who came here with missionaries, you know, came here with missions as missionaries, and who came here with big callings and big dreams, but a lot of them didn't actually follow through on the human end to do what they came here to do. That's the past. The past is saying there's been a lot of legacies, you know, that people have put voices to and words to, but haven't actually done it. That's been true in your family. I encourage you to explore and see where this is happening or has happened for your family members as well as yourself, and see how in all the ways yourself or your family members just didn't put the pen to paper, didn't put the foot to pavement, didn't put the foot to the gas, you know, all the ways in which you sort of held back and did not act and pressed pause or waited too long, or, you know, felt like you waited too long. That is the cycle of the past. And what's interesting, again, it's a little bit different because a lot of people in your family, I do feel like, came here similar to you to break the cycle, but just were never able to for whatever reason. And you have now the opportunity to support them and yourself in bringing all of this to life. So what's the present is you're going through a time or a period, you've either already received an inspiration and you already know all this stuff and you just know what you got to do, and this is like your green light, this reading. But some of you will be getting an inspiration in the near future. If it's not already there and you don't already know this stuff and it's not just acknowledgement or affirmation of what you already know, you'll be getting inspiration soon or in the near future that tells you exactly how all of this is alchemized. Like you get a dream for your own life, you have a vision for your own life, something comes through, whether big or small, that guides you into this greater vision that is a true blessing, that is heaven sent, that is meant to support you or at least lead you to the next step that shifts all of this. So it might not already be clear, but again, you were heaven sent. You are the medicine. You are the gift that breaks this cycle. And you're becoming aware of that, especially right now in the reading, you're becoming aware of it if you didn't know before. And now you know, oh, that's all I have to do is I have to take action. I have to bring it into form. I just have to do the damn thing. I have to put my money where my mouth is. Okay. Now, for some people, it's going to be easier than others. If this is a familial cycle, that means there might be some kind of thing like pattern or cycle that's in the way of truly taking action on your dreams. It could be, lack of self-belief or self-worth. It could have to do with a number of things. It'll be unique to each and every one of you. So you might have to do some exploration on that as you go, and all of that stuff comes up on our journeys as it needs to. Like, we don't have to go seeking it out. Now that you've had this reading, now that you know about it, it's going to come up for you, and then you can choose to continue engaging in that cycle or not, and that's your version of clearing it, right? It doesn't have to dictate. This is like an example of like, I can watch the Netflix again, or I can write my blog. I can go to that class that I told myself I would take, or I can spend the money on a new TV, whatever it is. And that one maybe doesn't feel like it lands as much as the other example, but it's kind of like that vibe. Like, are you going to sort of pick the same old self-sabotaging, limiting behaviors, or are you going to choose and even invest in those behaviors that actually serve your higher calling and greater vision for yourself? So that's what's coming through for you. Now, the future is you step into a much greater vision than anything you could have foreseen for yourself or your family. And this is why. Your family up until now, and even through your experience up until now, you've lived within the confines of this cycle, of this pattern. Your family couldn't see outside of it, and you couldn't see outside of it because you were living in it and you're operating within it. Now you know that it exists. So you are now being shown the glass ceiling that you simply need to break through. Now you can break through the seeming limitation. Now you understand, oh, that's my self-sabotage. Oh, this is what I need support with, or where I need to, where my growth edge is. And now you know where to step and what action to take. And you end up living a much bigger life and destiny and calling and vision for yourself than all of your family members prior because of that. And they actually, because they are also, it seems like advanced souls, old souls, souls who came here with similar missions, if they don't recognize it at the human level, which I feel like many of them will, they at the spiritual level will be celebrating you so hard. Like, oh my gosh, they finally did it. We might not have got to it yet, but they did it. Like, hallelujah, well done. So you really step into a really powerful vision for your family, which is really cool, that no one could have foreseen. So that's really awesome. And again, there's something here about, again, your family being a particular soul group or connected with a certain vision or mission that was similar in kind to each other, and or star seeds, if you believe in that from another planet. However, again, it aligns for you. You'll know what lands for you. But what's really cool is you kind of bring victory to not just yourself, but your whole soul group. You bring victory to this planet of beings, star beings. You bring victory to your family. You bring victory to this group of souls. You support everyone to reign victorious as a result of you breaking through this cycle. So how awesome is that? So nice job, pile 3. That's very exciting. If this resonated for you, I encourage you to leave a comment and like and subscribe. Also, I do offer personal readings as well as coaching programs to support you on your path and to support you to bring some of this that you have discovered in this reading to life or to fruition. I do that, and you can find those details below. With that, I thank you, and I will see you all next time around.